Hi, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. Today I'm going to be recording a bunch of guitar tracks on a Studio Rat song. Now, instead of miking up a bunch of amplifiers and cabinets, I'm going to be using this, which is the Boss IR-200. Boss have just released this, and if you don't know what the IR-200 is, it's an amp modeler with an IR loader, similar to something like a Stjerne Iridium. The big difference between that and this is that the Boss IR-200 has a much wider palette of tones, from crystal clean amps to crunch to full out high gain tones. Now, as the IR-200 has a stereo effects loop, I'm going to be incorporating this Boss DD-200 as well for all of my delay effects. So let's get to it. Let's have a look at the first guitar part. And I'm going to be using one of my tellies for this. Now, the sort of sound that I want to go for is a clean sound with a little bit of breakup on it. So the patch that I've got up at the moment is far too clean. So let's change that. I quite like the sound of this diamond amp. If I click on the amp here, we've got a few different pages that we can go to. Now, one of the great things about all these different amps is you get all these different gain stages. So we've got a high gain, middle gain and low gain. Now I'm going to keep it on the middle gain. Just push exit. And let's change the cab. Now I like the overall sound of that. Let's give it a little bit more treble. A tiny bit less gain. A little bit more mid. And let's turn the bass up just a little bit as well. Let's record the first guitar part using that sound. With part two, I want to record a really simple lead part. The first thing I'm going to do is to bring in some delay, so let's do that. And let's just turn the drive up a little bit as well. And last of all, just to separate the two guitars, let's change the speaker type. Let's go for part two. We've done part one and part two, so we're going to move on to the chorus guitar parts. Now I'm going to change the guitar. I'm going to be using this other Telecaster. The sort of sound that I want from this is sort of classic sort of Telecaster sound, but an overdriven Telecaster sort of sound. So quite sort of thrashy, not smooth, really sort of edgy. And I'm going to be using some of the patches that I've programmed into the IR-200. So let's go back to patch number 5, and that sounds like this. The first thing we're going to do is to turn that delay off. And let's just turn the treble up just a little bit. And and just bring the bass back just a little bit more. And what I want to do with this guitar part is to lay down the fundamentals of the chord. So I'm only going to be playing single notes, but I'm going to be playing it on the bottom string. So let's get to it. Part number 4, I want to add some higher voicings to the chords. Now the overdriven sounds inside the IR-200 are absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to be using that. I'm going to turn down the ambience a little bit. But before I do that, let's play the part using this sound. Okay, let's turn down the ambience, as I don't need so much reverb on this. I could do with quite a bit less gain. Let's bring back the treble a bit as well. For me, that's really working. Let's record the next part. For the next part, I'm just going to be playing power chords just on the first beat of the bar. I'm going to change the guitar again. I'm going to use this Les Paul. And the sort of sound that I want from this is quite similar to the last sound that we use. But what we're going to do with this sound is to pan it over to the other side. That one's really working for me. But what I want to do with this, again, is to change the speaker type, and that's going to create more separation with all the guitar parts. Let's try next one. And again, just bring the treble up a little bit more. And let's record that part. I've got the basic rhythm parts down. What I want to do now is to add some sort of high-end melody part that's going to create a little bit more interest than just all the standard sort of thrashing out the power chords. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to do like a little lead part, and I want to choose a patch that's a bit smoother. Now I programmed in earlier this patch here. Now as it's a lead part, I'm going to add some delay to this as well. So I'm going to switch on the DD-200. Let's try patch number 2. That's far too much delay there. Let's bring the delay back a bit. And let's record the part. For the last part, I'm going to use this Strat. Now again, the reason why I'm changing the guitars is because I want to create some different textures in the track. I'm using quite a lot of distorted sounds. What I want to try and do is to separate all those guitar parts by using different guitars and by using different amps and different IRs inside the IR-200. So the last part, I'm going to be playing this octave guitar part, and I want to accent the different intervals in the chords. So let's choose a different patch. I really like the sound of this tweed combo, but I've used it quite a lot in the track. So let's change that. Let's change it to the diamond amp. Let's turn the gain up a bit and bring the level back. I still want to use delay on this, but not quite as much as that. So let's change it to a different preset that I programmed. And let's change the speaker type. Right, let's go with that. If you haven't tried out an IR-200, I highly recommend it. It's been sat on my desk ever since Boss sent it to me a couple of weeks ago, and it's been used for a bunch of recording work that I've been doing. It's incredibly versatile and sounds fantastic. Anyway, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. I really hope you guys got something out of this video. If you did get something out of the video, perhaps you consider liking and subscribing, clicking on the bell button, and you'll be notified of any future video that comes out from the Studio Rats. I'm Paul, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.